Hey there, welcome to another Two-Wheeled Wednesdays. Today I'm about 15 miles inland from Brookings, Oregon and I think that's the South Fork camps on the Chetco River. That's the Chetco River right there, I know that. And today we're going for a gravel ride. I got the big fat tires on and we're gonna ride up to Quail Prairie Lookout. It's going to be a bit of a climb, but it's a beautiful clear day and hopefully we'll be rewarded with some spectacular views. Here's a map of today's adventure.
We start out at the confluence of the north and south forks of the Chetco River and start climbing. From 230 feet above sea level to more than 3,100 feet in under 10 miles. From there it's a long descent back to our starting point. All in all, it's about 22 miles and a total of about 3,500 feet of climbing. Without stops, it's under 3.5 hours of bike time, but with breaks, almost 5 hours on two wheels. As always, thanks to Relive for the cool map.
All right. Well, this looks like fun, huh? Should be a good workout and then a lot of fun coming home. So, are you ready? Great, let's ride. So far we're about 1.5 miles into the ride, and it's been through either clear cut or remnants of the Chetco bar fire a few years ago. And it's hot in the sun, but then you start thinking, look at the view. Sometimes you can't see the topography because you're in a forest. I think there was some witty, famous saying about that. I think the Chetco bar fire was in 2017 or 2019. But it looks like this has all been replanted within the last 5 years. All right. Yeah, if you lose your footing and come to a stop, it's really hard to get going. So it's a good excuse to get a drink of water. Hey, there's mile marker number 2. That one's not going anywhere for a while. Looks like it levels out here a little bit. All right, now we're in the forest. And we're actually not climbing. Chance to cool down. Let my heart rate die. No, not die, that sounds right. That sounds wrong. Oh, it's nice and cool. Well, here we are, some sort of opening. Maybe I can get an idea if we're on the right road or not. Or at least get a nice view, you know. Oh, I don't know, but it sure is pretty. I wonder if that's where we're supposed to go. I wonder if that's where the road goes. I guess we'll find out. So far, this climb has been heading pretty much south or northeast, and the wind has been blowing out of the southwest. So I've had a tailwind the whole time, which has not only made it kind of warm, but with no breeze in my face, the mosquitoes are just right there. Drive me nuts. Oh well, another few miles, and then it's downhill for a while. One of these turnoffs is the road to Packer's Cabin. I think that's it. I think I see it through the trees there. Yeah. It was built in the 1930s as kind of a station for the Forest Service employees. And they'd come up and they'd store supplies there, and then they'd deliver it to the various lookouts by mule. They'd pack their mules. So that was the Packer's Cabin. And no, not the Green Bay Packers, the mule packers. Getting closer. Nice road surface though. Makes climbing quite a bit easier than that loose, chunky stuff in the hot sun. I'm assuming that we go this way. I'm sure they'll scream at me any second. Yeah, this last section is a little steep. There it is. There's the lookout tower. All right, nice and cool now. So the Quail Prairie Lookout. It was built in 1963. It was one of the very last lookouts built by the Oregon Forest Service here in Southwest Oregon. And they used it all the way up until the middle of the 1990s. And then, you know, radar and satellites made this kind of obsolete. So they turned it into a recreational spot. You could come and rent it out. There's a little apartment up there. But as you can see, it's fallen into a little bit of disrepair. So they're not renting it out anymore. But people used to come and spend their summers up here looking for forest fires. Pretty crazy. Okay, time to start heading down, I suppose. Let's go. Well, now here's a dilemma. I don't know whether I should be heading down that way, and then that would loop around over there, or do I just go back the way I came? So I know that'll get me back to the car. This, if it doesn't, I don't want to have to climb all the way back here. It's already getting, you know, I don't want to be out here all day. Let's just climb over there and take a look. Well, I don't know. I mean, I see a road over there, but that's a ways over there. And if that doesn't drop me down back there, then it's a lot of hiking back to here. All right, well, you can't see it, but the lookout's behind those trees there. And some guys came along and they told me that, yeah, this is a good road and it goes all the way back. They knew my car. They said, is that your silver van down there? And I said, yeah, it's still there. They said, yep. And this route will drop me right down to it. So they were even going to mark X's in the road where I needed to turn. So here we go. Right here, this is the part of, this is the trailhead for the Upper Chetco Trail, the Upper Chetco Trailhead. So I know, I'm looking on the maps that we go past here, but this trailhead goes off into the Kalmiopsis Wilderness, which is a pretty cool place. We'll talk about that on the way down. All right. It's been more than 3 hours so far. I should probably keep rolling. Less talking, more riding. So I've got about a 10-mile downhill coming up, and there are two things that I've modified my bike with to make that a lot easier and safer. One is these pedals, and on one side they're just flat, so you just sit on them, and on the other side you can clip in and actually be attached to the bike. So you get more power when you're clipped in, but it's a lot safer just on flats. So I'm sticking with the flats for the way down. The other thing that I've done for this bike is I've added a dropper post, a seat dropper. There's a little lever here on the handlebars, and you push that and the seat goes down. So not only does that lower your center of gravity, but allows you to get farther back on the bike as well. Because when you're heading downhill, your weight shifts forward. So you've got to purposely, physically shift your weight back to keep it centered over the pedals, right? You want your hips over your heels, just like in skiing, and just like in walking down the sidewalk. So I've tried a couple different dropper posts from different companies, and right now this is from Pacific Northwest Components, PNW, and I really like it. It runs smooth, it's got lots of travel. And I know my way around a bike. I can turn a wrench and everything. But even if you can't, even if you're not a bike mechanic, it's super simple to install. You just got to make sure you get the right one for your bike. You can call the manufacturer, talk to the people in this case, at Pacific Northwest. They're up in Seattle. And they'll walk you through picking out the right one for your bike. If anybody's even considering doing this kind of riding, I would highly recommend it. I'll leave a link down in the description, but definitely consider dropper posts. When you're looking at surfaces, you gotta just get low, man. Alright, well, this is getting a little steep and loose and rough and rutted. So I put the microphone away, put the extension stick away, and I'm not going to be doing as much talking for a while. At least until we get to something not quite so steep and a little smoother. Although this is pretty nice right now. So off to my left, to the east, is the Kalmiopsis wilderness. It's about 180,000 acres of wilderness. Nothing mechanized allowed. No machines, not even a bicycle. The Kalmiopsis was named for a shrub, the Kalmiopsis echinacea or something. I don't know how to pronounce it. It's similar to an azalea. It's an evergreen shrub. And the shrub itself was named for a Dutch botanist named Peter Kilm, or something like that. So there you have it. Yeah, all that area used to be gold mining country. Gold was discovered there in the 1850s. And there were miners there all the way up into the 1950s. It was designated as a wilderness area in 62 or 64, somewhere around there. It's pretty rugged. That's some steep stuff over there. All right, look at that. There's an arrow. There's an arrow. Right on. That's so nice of those guys. That's so cool. That's so cool. That's awesome. Okay, here we go. It's all downhill from here. It's almost as hard going downhill as it is going uphill. You know, my mountain bike has front shocks and rear shocks. It's a full suspension mountain bike. This bike has no shocks. So, you got to use your natural shock absorbers. Your knees and elbows. And that's why the dropper post comes in handy. So you can get off the seat and flex with your knees. It's like skiing. You just keep your knees bent. Bend the knees, $2 please. And away you go, man. All right, well, I think we're getting down here. The road seems to have leveled out a little bit, and it's a lot smoother. But that was a fun downhill. I think next time that I do this route, and I will do this route again, but I think next time I'm gonna go the other direction. This side seems a lot more shaded. So I spent a lot of energy climbing in that heat. So I think next time we'll go this way. All right. Oh man, well that was fun. Thanks for joining me for another Two Wheeled Wednesdays. I hope you're enjoying these weekly two-wheeled escapades. If so, consider subscribing and hit that notification button. We post all sorts of fun bike-related content throughout the week, and you don't want to miss any of it. You can also follow me on me and my two-wheeled wackiness on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Strava, and don't forget twowheeledwednesdays.com. I'm in the process of putting together the Two Wheeled Wednesdays 2024 ride schedule, and if there's any particular route or event that you'd like to see covered, let me know, and we'll see if we can make that happen. Okay, well, I guess that's it for today. Until next time, remember, life is twice as good on two wheels, and we'll see you next week.